Good evening. The April 1st, 2026 regular meeting of the Planning Commission will come to order at 6:30 p.m. Please rise and follow Commissioner Legaspi in the Pledge of Allegiance.
My pleasure. Please join us. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please allow Commissioner Guerra to lead us in an invocation this evening.
Great and gracious God, as always, we want to thank you for the many blessings you give us each and every day of our lives, the gift of our faith, of our family, and of our friends. And tonight, as we come together as one of your bodies, we ask you for wisdom and judgment on there to do what's right for our residents and for our city and for our staff. Please guide us and protect us, and for those who are less fortunate than us, please be with them. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. May I have our Planning Commissioner Secretary Rhea please call roll.
Yes, Chair. Commissioner Lujan?
Present.
Commissioner Guerra?
Here.
Commissioner Legaspi?
Present.
Vice Chair Sakali?
Here.
And Chair Uba.
Present. This is the time set aside for oral communications from the Planning Commission. Does any commissioner wish to make an announcement, report on a conference, a meeting, or request for future agenda items?
I have none.
None? Okay.
None.
Thank you. This evening presentations, we don't have any. Does the Community Development Director have a report on a City Council action or any other general update?
I don't at this time, Chair.
Great, thank you. Public hearings. We have one tonight. Now is the time set aside for public hearing for PLN 26-00005 for a conditional use permit. Does the Planning Commission Secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Will the Community Development Director introduce the staff making the presentation?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Tonight's presentation will be provided by our Contract Senior Planner, Rebecca Contreras, and she will have a PowerPoint presentation tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Chair Uva, Vice Chair, Commissioners, and members of the audience. The item before you is PLN 26-00005 for Emporio Sushi and Mariscos at 11949 Paramount Boulevard. This is a request for a revision to conditional use permit number PLN 19-00007 to upgrade the existing ABC license from a Type 41 on sale of beer and wine to a Type 47 on sale of beer and wine and distilled spirit at an existing full-service restaurant. A restaurant is a restaurant use with alcohol sales is allowed in the C1 zone with the approval of a CUP. Additionally, modifications to a CUP require the approval of the Planning Commission. All findings of the conditional use permit can be made in the affirmative. The subject property is approximately 12,800 square feet in area and is developed with a 7,292 square foot multi-tenant commercial building. The project site, Emporio Sushi and Mariscos, occupies one of the 5 tenant spaces, totaling 2,242 square feet. Surrounding the subject site to the south is a mixed use with commercial and residential, multifamily residential. To the north and east, there are standard commercial uses such as retail, professional services, offices, and restaurants. Directly on the site are uses such as a barber shop, dessert shop, real estate office, and photography studio. To the west, or behind the project site, is a multifamily residential. The subject property is zone neighborhood commercial with a housing overlay and has a general plan designation, land use designation of neighborhood commercial. The zoning and land use designation are aligned, and the proposed use, restaurant with alcohol sales, is permitted with the approval of a conditional use permit. Although the site is located within a housing overlay and was identified as a housing site to meet the need of the city's regional housing needs assessment, or RHNA, the project does not propose any new development, no new structures or expansions on the site. Therefore, the site continues to be a viable RHNA site and will not result in any shortfall for sites needed to meet the city's RHNA obligations. Therefore, the proposed project is consistent with the underlying zone and general plan designation. Some background on the project. On March 6th to 2019, the Planning Commission approved conditional use permit number PLN 19-00007 through resolution number 19-3083 to establish a type 41 on-sale beer and wine eating place ABC license for an existing restaurant, which at the time was operated as Berto's Mexican Restaurant. According to the business license records, the site has historically been occupied by restaurant use since the early 1990s. Berto's Mexican Restaurant occupied the space from late 2018 to August 2019, when the current restaurant Emporio Sushi and Mariscos took over the tenant space and assumed the existing 41 ABC license. These are some photos of the site of the existing building. You can see the site from Paramount Boulevard as well as Cole Street. No changes to the exterior. Again, the request would update the ABC license from a type 41 to type 47 for on-site consumption of beer, wine, and distilled spirits within an existing full-service restaurant. The applicant also proposed a modification to the hours of operation for the business as shown here in this table on the PowerPoint. But based on similar uses in the vicinity and consideration of the adjacent residential uses, staff recommends that the hours of operation be conditioned as shown on the table as well. The existing restaurant is a full-service restaurant, family-friendly establishment offering a menu of traditional and contemporary Mexican seafood dishes and sushi rolls in conjunction with beer and wine. The request for the license upgrade stems from the applicant's desire to offer a new commodity at their restaurant. The approval of the CUP will allow the restaurant to offer distilled spirits as such as specialty cocktails. In addition to the existing sale of beer and wine. The current restaurant will remain as sorry, I didn't change the slide. The current restaurant will remain as is with no proposed improvements to the existing floor plan. The alcoholic beverages will continue to be stored securely in the designated storage area as shown on the floor plan. The floor plan demonstrates where these areas are located. The types of alcohol containers that will be served and stored are the following: bottled beer, canned beer, wine bottles, standard distilled spirit bottles, and limited draft beer. The Development Review Committee discussed and evaluated the project as it pertained to planning, police, fire, public works, and building and safety matters. No department expressed concerns regarding the project and provided standard conditions of approval. The Planning Division provided conditions of approval related to safety, hours of operation, signage corresponding to loitering, and incorporated conditions of approval from Resolution Number 193083. Staff has reviewed the proposed project for compliance with CEQA and determined that the CUP is categorically exempt from further review under CEQA guidelines, Section 15301, Class 1, existing facilities. On March 19, 2026, a notice of the public hearing was sent to all tenants and property owners within 500 feet of the subject site, and the notice was published in the Downey Patriot. As of this date, as the date of this presentation, staff has received no correspondence in response to the public hearing notices. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt resolution with the correct resolution number as clarified per the memo provided to you, thereby approving PLN 26000005 with resolution number 260461, allowing Emporio Sushi and Mariscos, an existing restaurant, to operate with a Type 47 ABC license located at 11949 Paramount Boulevard. This concludes staff's presentation. I am available for questions. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Does any planning commissioners have any questions of staff? Go ahead.
Could you go back to the slide, the overview one on there, the one that shows the street from the top, one of your early ones on there? So, okay, so no, yeah. So right there, you know, the parking lot, so that's residential. That's an apartment building, right? That's right next to
right behind it.
Right
Yes.
behind it on
Yeah.
there. Okay, all right. Have we had, I mean, you had the design review committee already, but have we had any issues with police there, drinking calls or anything like that?
The response from the police departments was that they had no calls in relation to specifically to Emporio Sushi, and they had no concerns.
Okay, great. And then my other question is, how do we know, you know, I know it's based on, you know, they can't do over 50% of their sales, and because then it becomes a bar kind of thing on there. How do we know that? How do we know when it ever, do they submit annual reports or something to us? How would we know?
I don't know. Maybe I can direct that to Swati.
Yes. Commissioner, that's a very good question. Thank you for that. There is a condition of approval that states that there will be, the sales of alcohol will not exceed the sales of food. Staff does have the ability to verify that information if needed. And this is also a condition, or this is also a requirement from the ABC. So they also separately and independently can verify that if needed.
And then, I don't know if you knew that, I actually bought from there on the Paramount doors on there, they used to sell the little pancake things, okay? I think on weekends on there. Do they still do that? Where they would open up the doors and you'd buy a certain amount of, they're mini pancakes, but you buy it from the street.
I'm not sure, but the applicant is here in
Okay.
the public, so maybe
We
they
could
can
ask
answer
them at that point then, okay. Only because I just wondered.
No, we'll be calling you up.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so. And that's it. I just wanted to make sure that had been no other issues and so forth. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Lujan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Legaspi.
I have a couple. Ms. Rebecca, thank you. Great presentation. Appreciate you very much. The current conditional use permit was approved in 2019. To the best of your knowledge, has the applicant ever violated any portion of the CUP, any issues with the city?
We have not received any indication that they have violated or gone against any of their conditions of approval. Nothing has come to our attention.
Thank you for that. And I think I know the answer, but just to make sure and put it on the record, when the initial conditional use permit was approved, was there an entertainment license included? Any live music?
No, there was not.
Okay, and that's not part of what we're discussing today?
Correct. That is not part of this one, yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. That's it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, I have two, I think they're simple questions. The hours of operation, it was extended by 1 hour. Is that what the applicant wanted, or is that what you guys requested, it just be 1 additional hour?
I believe it was an hour for the week and 2 hours for during the
weekend?
The weekend. If we go back to the slide, I can maybe show you.
And Chair Uva, if I may, on page 8 of the Planning Commission agenda report.
Yes.
There's a table with hours of operation. And Sunday through Thursday, the request was to operate until 10 p.m. And staff's recommendation is aligned with that. And then and that was extending it by 1 hour.
Correct.
Previously. And then for Saturday and Sunday, they previously were approved until 10 p.m. They were requesting midnight, and staff's recommendation is 11 p.m. based on the fact that they're surrounded by some sensitive uses, including immediately adjacent multifamily, and also considering similar other businesses in the area that we researched. The 11 p.m. would be aligned with other approvals we've provided in the past.
Okay, perfect, thank you. And then my second question is, there is no bar or bar stools anywhere in the restaurant, right? So someone can't sit at a bar and have a drink. It has to be consumed at a table with a meal.
Correct. It appears all to be table, there's bench tables and all, 4 seats too.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I read that, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
Thank you. No one else wants to add a question? Sure.
One last one. So when the CUP was done in 2018, that was the beginning for Bertels. Did Bertels assume a CUP for Marissa's before? Because it was Marissa's for like 15 years before. Or do we
I'm
know
not
that?
sure. Maybe, but I'm not sure.
Because
Maybe we
Marissa's
can look
had
into it.
beer and wine. I don't think I'd ever had out mixed drinks either, though. So,
Yeah, Commissioner Guerra, I was just looking over to our deputy, and we don't have that information in our research. I think it would have come up during our entitlement research that they would have. The most recent we had reference to was a 2019, which is the one that's tied into tonight's recommendation.
Thank you.
A question, if I may. So the permit to consume alcohol in a restaurant, does it come in with the sale of the property, or it has to be filed separately by the new owner? It looks like it's already been bought along with the purchase of the property, of the business.
Commissioner,
We can, go ahead.
yeah, Commissioner, I could assist with that answer. Sometimes, yes, the alcohol license is inherited with the sale of property. Entitlement purpose-wise, it is. If it's on file that a previous approval allowed the ABC license for Type 41, it is still on file for that next business that comes in, yes.
Great, thank you.
So if they sold the business on there, would the 47 go with it?
I can further clarify. From a land use perspective, the entitlement that comes before the Planning Commission. For example, tonight, if it's approved, it carries over as a land use entitlement through the life of the property. However, the transaction of the actual sale of the license that's issued by the state alcohol beverage control is an independent transaction that's handled by private parties in accordance with state regulation. So in some cases, we are aware that businesses will tie those land use business transactions with the state license, but that's an individual private sale that happens aside from the land use entitlement that does run with the land.
So how do we control a future bad actor? So these are good people, we approve it and so forth, and then they sell it to, John Doe that's not such a good person. How do we, as a city, have a right to say, hey, we don't, we look at the record and they had issues at other cities or something?
Yes. Commissioner, thank you again for that question. And if I could respond also to your previous question, so attachment C, which was the earlier resolution from 2019, was the CUP was applied for by the Berto's Mexican restaurant. And then to answer your next question, that is the purpose of the conditional use permit and the conditions of approval that are being reviewed and approved by this body tonight. So the conditional use permit would run with the land, so to speak, would be associated with this location, with this address. It is not issued to either the business operator, neither the property owner. So as you mentioned, at a future date, if this location was to be operated by a different business owner, they would be required inherently to operate within the conditions of approval that you're approving tonight, regardless of who the operator changes over to. So let's say at a future date, the new business owner is not conducting the business in the manner that this body is approving the item tonight. The city's code enforcement division has the ability to go and enforce these conditions of approval, including but and not limited to, at a future date, modify those conditions of approval, or possibly even conduct a public hearing to revoke this conditional use permit if that was found necessary.
Just to clarify, Ms. Swati, just to make sure we're all on the same page here, we're talking about the business itself and the business opportunity itself, not to do with the real estate portion of it. My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that even if there was to be a sale of the real estate, it has nothing to do with the business license and the conditional use permit. That's a separate escrow, two different transactions, not to do with the other, correct?
Can I repeat myself just to clarify a tiny little bit? If there was a sale for this tenant space in the future, this business, let's say Rebecca went and purchased this business, she would be assuming this conditional use permit. She would be required to apply for a business license with the city, and so the city would be aware that there is now a new business operator. Mm-hmm. But the ABC license part of it is, as the director mentioned, it's a different process outside of this body and the city's purview.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or their representative, this would be the time for the planning commissioners to disclose any pre-hearing site visits or pre-hearing discussions that the commissioners may have had about this project. I'll start with Mr. Legaspi.
I have none, Chair.
Vice Chair?
I have none.
Lujan?
I have none.
And Commissioner Guerra?
I
None.
turn right on coal every single night of my life. So I see what they do there every day.
I have none as well. The public hearing is now open. Will the applicant or the representative please come forward to give testimony?
Good evening, Commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Nora Nieto, and I'm here on behalf of Emporio Sushi and Mariscos, a family-oriented restaurant located in Downey on 11949 Paramount Boulevard. At this time, we're requesting an amendment to our existing conditional use permit to modify our alcohol license from ABC license type 41 to type 47. And we requested the hour extension, which the proposed hours from the planning staff, we agree with the recommendation. The request to upgrade from a type 41 license, which allows beer and wine, to type 47 license will allow us to offer a full range of alcohol beverage in a controlled sit-down restaurant setting. This enhancement is intended to improve our dining experience while remaining consistent with similar full-service restaurants in the area. Emporio Sushi and Marisco will continue to operate as a family-oriented restaurant. This amendment does not change the nature of our business. Alcohol service will remain as secondary to food service. And we are committed to maintain a safe, welcoming environment for families and the community. The additional 1 hour extension is minimal and will help us better serve our customers during evening hours, particularly in weekends. We are fully committed to responsible operations. We will strictly follow all ABC regulations and comply with all city conditions. Our staff will continue to be trained in responsible alcohol service, and we will maintain a proper oversight to ensure a respectful and well-managed environment. We do not anticipate any negative impacts to surroundings community. We are committed to being a good neighbor and maintaining a positive presence in the city of Downey. We respectfully request your support in this. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions for the applicant?
I just have one. Just for the record, there's no change of ownership. We're talking about the same parties that have been operating since since you folks opened up and took over
Correct.
The business?
Yes.
Okay, were you, in 2019, were the same parties that are here took over the business at that point?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for being part of our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you want to tell me about the mini pancakes now?
So the mini pancakes was something that we started during COVID to kind of make a little bit more money. It was a difficult time for us. And we actually opened next door. I don't know if you've seen the location. It's called Dolce Cravings. Oh. So we actually have a physical location now.
Know that.
Yeah. Whenever you'd like to visit us, we're
great. I will check it out. Little mini pancake. I remember that during COVID.
Yeah.
And from, first of all, you've been in the community now for a while, and we haven't had any issues. And, when an applicant comes up here, what you just read off and talked about, obviously that's almost self-evident, but we appreciated hearing it, okay? That you are going to continue being responsible. So, thank you for that.
Welcome.
And
Thank
this
you.
is not, I have no issues with this.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. May I confirm that if there's been any correspondence in favor or in opposition?
There has been none, Chair.
Okay, great. Is anyone here to speak in favor or in opposition? I don't see anybody coming up, and all the numbers are still there. Now is the time, you may be seated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now is the time for the Planning Commission to deliberate. What is the pleasure of the Planning Commission?
Besides pancakes,
Oh, sorry. The public hearing is now closed. Sorry.
I just have a little bit of a question or inquiry, rather. The restaurants around that area, do they all close around 11 o'clock? Or do they vary till midnight or till 1 o'clock or what have you? Do we know that at all?
I can answer that question, Commissioner, or Vice Chair, sorry. The staff conducted research for restaurants around that area, and Actually, so there is a Shakey's Pizza that closes at 10 p.m. most days and 11 p.m. on Saturday, excuse me. Tokyo Garden, which is right across the street from this proposed location, that closes at 10 p.m. during the week and 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Then there is El Azteca Taqueria north of the proposed site, and that closes at 10 p.m. on all days of the week. And there is another, I don't know if I'm saying the name correctly, so you would have to.
It's called Parias Cholito on the south side.
Oh, yeah, that's south, yeah.
And that closes at 9 p.m. on most days and at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Knowing what I know about the area, I don't see an issue with the extended hour there either, especially since the other restaurants around, it's not like this is staying a lot later than the other ones. You can leave at Tokyo, across the street, and, they close at the same time. And they seem very responsible. They keep the place clean and everything else too on the outside. So I'm going to vote in favor of it, and let me know if you wanted a motion for it. So.
I would love a motion.
Okay. I make a motion, do I have to say all the whole thing out?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to approve PLN 26-00 4000005 for this location as staff recommended.
I'll second.
Do we need to include something about the resolution in the motion?
Yes, Chair, if we could just say as amended per the memorandum provided to you tonight.
Okay, I'll amend it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Perfect. There was a second?
There was a second, yeah.
Okay, great. May we have a vote, Ria?
Motion passes with a vote of 5-0.
Great. May I remind the applicant that the action of the Planning Commission will be final unless the matter is appealed to the City Council with the appropriate fee within the next 15-day period as set forth in the city's municipal code. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
When does it become effective? 15 days from now? Or, out of curiosity, I don't care.
Correct, right? 15 days from now.
Okay, all right, so, great.
Best of luck.
Yeah, good luck to you. And I will go check out the pancakes, so.
Maybe pancakes with a little twist, maybe?
We have coffee and all that now, so.
Oh, there you go. Do you guys have, you should steal Marissa's old recipe on the shredded beef taco, so that's the one thing.
I'll ask June about it, she probably knows.
That's right, she would, yeah. Take care, I'll go visit.
Thank you.
soon.
Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Also making requests.
Okay.
I know, now I'm hungry.
Tequila requests now?
Now is the time for non-agenda public comment. Seeing no one in the audience, we can move on to consent calendar. We need to approve the minutes of November 19th, 2025, and we need to receive and file and forward the 2025 General Plan and Housing Element Annual Progress Reports to the City Council. May I have a motion and a second related to these consent calendar items?
I'll make a motion, then you need, I'll make a motion.
Okay, and Commissioner Saikali seconded it. I heard him. It has been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Planning Commission Secretary Ria, may we have a vote?
Motion passes with a vote of 5-0.
Perfect. Other business? We have none. Does the Community Development Director have any additional comments?
I don't tonight. Thank you, Chair.
Great.
When is the next meeting? Then do we know? Just from a calendar standpoint.
Yes, Commissioner, we are anticipating to not have the next upcoming meeting, but we will have the one after that. I believe the date is May 6th. May 6th.
Okay.
Is there a holiday or something?
I might not be available. I'm supposed to have surgery, my eyelid. So depending on how, if I'm able to, see, then I'll come. But I'll let you guys know.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know, and good luck with your surgery.
It looks a lot much better.
And is the end of April meeting just lack of agenda
Yes.
or lack of business, I
Yes.
guess I should say?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So seeing nothing else, correct? We are adjourned at 7:05.